back again, Accordion Cool. And no, I don't have my big sign behind me, but I think I can remember everything that's on the sign. Accordion Cool, Coach Dave. Well, that's me, so I think we're all set. All right, well, during that first song, he did hear a couple little squeaks and squawks. I'd like to blame the accordion, but it's the operator hitting the wrong button. I'm still not totally used to this instrument, even though I've had it a few weeks. But we'll get there, we'll get there. So the first song was called Moonglow. Moonglow. Moonglow came from 1933. Now, there has been a basic misconception for years and years and years that it was the theme from Picnic, and alas, it was not. The movie Picnic was in the 1950s, and there was a recording done of Picnic, the song from Picnic, and Moonglow as a medley, and a lot of people just assumed that Moonglow was part of the song from Picnic, but nope, separate song altogether, 1933. A lot of instrumentals, I think, on this song. But of course, you know, your Sinatras and your Ellas and all those folks, I'm sure they all recorded it at one time or another. This next song, well, by the way, perhaps after I play the next song, you might, well, I'll tell you about it. We're having a little theme today. Themed being moon songs, songs that have moon in their titles. So we had Moonglow. So let's go up to our neighboring state of Vermont and do Moonlight in Vermont. Yeah, that's a good place to have it. Now this is an interesting song, and I have well, I'll tell the story after the song. So Moonlight in Vermont. So let's see what happens. Moonlight in Vermont, pretty tune. As you notice, I play it with a little bit of a beat to it. I played that tune for a lot of years, and I kind of like it just a little swingy, shall we say. Now, a couple of anecdotes about Moonlight in Vermont. Now, all music, or should I say 99% of music, is based on what we call 32 bars, 32 measures of music, and they're divided by 4, 8, 8, 8, 8. Now, the first 8 The second 8 are pretty much the same. The middle 8, okay, that middle part that always sounds different, that's called the bridge. And then it goes back to the original 8. And it's always 8, 8, 8, 8. Seems that Moonlight in Vermont is not written that way. It's written 6, 6, 8, 6. So, you don't realize it, and I didn't realize it for years. You just play the song and it's there. So I was doing a recording session, and when you do these recording sessions, the first thing they do is they lay down or record the drum track, and then you play to the recorded drum track. So all's great, lay down the drum track, and Coach Dave starts to play. And Paul Bish, who was a great, great piano player and of course recording engineer, said, "Whoa, stop. You're doing it wrong." I don't think so. He said, "Do it again." He said, "That's wrong. Well, that's the way the song goes." Well, come to find out, he, like every other person, didn't realize that Moonlight Vermont was written 6, 6. So he had laid down the drum track for 8 measures, and all of a sudden he had 2 measures left over. So we had to redo that whole thing. And the one last thing about Moonlight in Vermont, the folks that wrote it, they noticed about halfway through that the words didn't rhyme. So they said, well, what the heck, let's just continue that way. So if you ever hear the words to Moonlight in Vermont, they don't rhyme, and that's enough about that. Now, this next song also has a long story, and I know I've told it many times, but suffice it to say, it was written in 1934 by Rodgers and Hart, and it took 4 tries, 4 different people trying to make a hit out of this melody with different words and lyrics to finally get it. And of course, the song is called Blue Moon. And the reason we're doing this whole moon thing is because as we taped this show last week in our time, but not the time you're seeing it, there was a blue moon. So I figured, what the heck, let's do some moon songs, and in the middle we'll put, I don't know, how about Blue Moon? That makes sense. Oh, never mind. with squeaks and squawks. Yes, I know, I did it. Well, see, with this instrument, there's one section that plays all those, piano vibes, orchestra sounds, and the other section plays the accordion sounds. Now, I don't use the accordion sounds because, to be perfectly honest, they're not good accordion sounds, at least to my ear. So I just play pretty much strictly the orchestral sounds. Well, right up beside the little piano tab is the one that's cancel. What does that do? That cancels the orchestral. So guess what happens when dummy hits the wrong one? Yep, you hear the funny sounds you heard earlier. But anyway, let's get away from that. Now this next song, 1961, Henry Mancini, from the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, Academy Award winner, Moon River. Now, I was on a gig a while back, and this woman comes up to me. She says, can you play Moon River? And I says, well, yeah, but you might not like the way I play. She says, oh, no, I love the song anyway, because, you see, I don't do it as a waltz. No, nay. Waltzes are nice, but, no, I kind of do it in 4/4 time. So, but she, she's okay, and the last I noticed, Henry Mancini's not spinning in his grave. So let's try this and see what kind of a song we get this time if I hit the right button. And I think I did. Yes, okay, here we go. Coach Dave's adaptation of Moon, River, and 4/4 time. Again, I kind of like to swing things a little bit, so what can I say? Well, this next song, now this song could have been a Jeopardy question, because the answer would be 240,000 miles. What does that mean? Well, the question would be, how high is the moon? Oh, son of a gun. And that just happens to be the name of our next song. Now, this song was, I think around 1940 or so. And a fellow named Les Paul, this song came from a show or a play or something, but Les Paul, who was a great guitar player, and he was very advanced in electronics, and he and his wife, Mary Ford, did a lot of recordings. This was the song they recorded, and what they would do, I think I've told this story before, is Les Paul would lay down the guitar track, and then Mary Ford would sing to it. And then they'd go back, and they'd add a track, and she'd sing in harmony. And they'd go back, and by the time they got through, they had like 4-part harmony with Mary Ford singing against the guitar track. And it was a style that they kind of innovated and used quite a bit. And this was one of the songs that they did it on. How high the moon. So let's see what we get here. That's the one we want. Son of a gun. How high? What's the answer? Yes, 240,000 miles is how high the moon is. Well, we're getting down towards the end of our time, and this song, last song, is a song I play in all my gigs. This also started life as a waltz back in 1953, 54. It was called In Other Words. And it kind of hung around for a while, and some guy named Frank, Sinatra in 1964. You know, Frankie's not going to do any of those silly waltzes, so they changed things around a bit, and they did it in 4/4 time. So if you were born before 1960 or 64, you never heard this song except as an up-tempo 4/4 tune. So one of the first times the great Corey Pesatoro was on this show, I'm telling this story. In the background, I hear him trying to play Fly Me to the Moon in 3/4 time. And he says, wow, that sounds strange. Well, no kidding. Corey, you know, you're just a youngster, so here we go. Fly me to the moon. Fly me to the moon. Well, you know, speaking of Corey Pesatoro, with all the traveling he does, I wouldn't be surprised for him to call me someday and say, I'm heading to the moon to do a gig. I mean, he goes everywhere. But anyway, well, you know, we're just about at the end of our time, and as usual, thank you all for watching, listening, tuning in, YouTube, wherever it is that you catch this show. We certainly appreciate you doing so. And of course, as usual, big thank you to the big guy behind the glass, Austin Ricketts. If I sound good, it's up to him. If I don't sound good, well, maybe hitting wrong, never mind. But, and of course, you know I'm going to say, bring those young uns in, the children, the grandchildren, the nieces, nephews, whatever, because they don't hear this music anymore. And as I said hundreds of times, not because I'm playing it, but because of the music itself. So once again, thank you all, and let's go home with, I don't know, how about a little, let's fly to the moon. Here we go.